Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're dissecting a literally terrifying supernatural event that happened to a 16-year-old kid named Ryan and his dad. They had just moved into this old house. Now, it was super cheap, which is great, right? But there was a massive catch. Everyone in town avoided this place like the plague. We're not just swapping ghost stories today, we're going to break down the exact anatomy of how a simple sound escalated into a full-blown physical encounter in just a matter of minutes.
The entire timeline of this paranormal nightmare kicks off at exactly 12:03 a.m. Not midnight. 3 minutes past. You know, in the study of unexplained phenomena, specific times often act as these weird triggers or localized loops. For Ryan, 12:03 wasn't just a time on the clock. It was the exact moment the whole atmosphere of the house shifted and this crazy sequence of events was set into motion.
It starts off deceptively normal. Ryan hears 3 slow, deliberate knocks. Naturally, he figures, hey, someone's at the front door. He walks over, looks through the peephole, totally expecting a late-night visitor. But there's absolutely no one there. Just to be completely sure, he actually opens the door and looks out into an entirely empty hallway. At this point, it's super easy to brush it off as, I don't know, settling pipes or a neighbor. But the phenomenon? It's just getting started.
Here is where things take a massive, impossible turn. Just as Ryan closes the front door and turns around, the sounds repeat. Knock, knock, knock. But the origin of the sound has totally changed. It's no longer coming from outside that protective barrier of the front door. The sound is now coming from deep inside his own home. The boundary of safety instantly breached.
This kicks off a frantic, totally adrenaline-fueled search. Ryan's heart is absolutely racing as he checks every single room in the house, looking for an intruder. He finds absolutely nothing. The house is seemingly empty. But his search draws him to one specific spot, a deeply unsettling door at the very end of the hallway. It's totally different from the rest of the house. It's got this heavy, rusty lock, and even worse, these strange, aggressive scratch marks gouged right across the wood.
Now this visually connects right back to a strict warning his dad gave him. Before this night even started, his father laid down one absolute rule: never open that door. His dad clearly knew something was very wrong with that room, setting up this massive physical and psychological barrier that Ryan is now standing directly in front of.
As Ryan steps closer to check out those deep scratch marks, the haunting escalates fast. It shifts from just physical, ambiguous sounds to direct, intelligent communication. A cold whisper comes right through the wood from the other side of that locked door. "Ryan, let me out." The entity isn't just making noise anymore, it is directly interacting with him.
And this is the part that literally paralyzes Ryan in his tracks. Think about the facts here for a second. Ryan and his dad literally just moved in. They're entirely new to the town, entirely new to this creepy house. So how on earth could an entity, locked away behind a rusty door, possibly know his name? This points to a highly aware, intelligent entity, which for sure is the most dangerous kind of manifestation.
Let's look at how fast this escalates and totally alters the environment. The voice doesn't stop. The whisper gets noticeably louder, saying, "I've been waiting for you." Instantly, the lights in the hallway completely die, plunging Ryan into pitch blackness. But then this crazy manipulation of technology happens. Ryan's smartphone flashlight turns on entirely by itself. He is now trapped in a dark hallway, lit only by a beam of light he didn't even turn on.
Okay, brace yourself for the creeping dread of what happens next. Under the harsh glare of his phone, Ryan is staring at the drywall. Out of nowhere, one fresh handprint slowly manifests on the wall. Then, a second fresh handprint appears right next to it. Then a third. They're appearing in real time, literally pacing down the wall, leading straight toward that forbidden, locked door. Ryan wants to run so badly, but he's just paralyzed by fear. His feet literally refuse to move.
Then comes the ultimate gut drop moment. Standing there totally frozen, Ryan hears a single, heavy, mechanical sound echoing in that quiet hallway. Click. The rusty lock, without a single human hand touching it, just disengages completely on its own. The one golden rule his father gave him is being broken by the house itself.
The door slowly creeps open, creaking on its hinges, but no monster comes charging out. It just reveals pure, impenetrable darkness inside the room. And instead of an attack from the front, a deep, resonant voice echoes out from the void with a totally unexpected, chilling command. It just whispers, look behind you.
This right here is a masterful supernatural misdirection. Ryan slowly turns around, bracing for the absolute worst. He looks down the hallway with his own eyes and sees absolutely no one. The hallway is empty. He actually lets out a huge sigh of relief. But then he glances down at his phone screen. The phone, which remember had been acting on its own, snapped a photo just seconds ago. The glowing screen shows Ryan standing in the hallway, and towering right behind him in the photo is this tall shadow with glowing white eyes wearing a huge, terrifying smile. The entity was right there. It just wasn't visible to his naked eye.
The sheer terror of this, literally seeing a monster standing right behind you on a screen while feeling empty space behind your back, completely shatters Ryan's paralysis. He screams and drops the phone like a stone. It takes him a solid moment to gather the courage to actually reach down and pick it back up. But by the time he does, he looks at the screen again, and the shadowy figure has completely vanished from the camera's view.
Fast forward to the next morning, and we get absolute confirmation of the threat. Ryan doesn't hide this. He tells his dad everything. Now, usually in these stories, the parent tries to rationalize it, right? Not here. When his dad hears Ryan's testimony, all the color just drains from his face. He goes completely pale. He doesn't go investigate. He doesn't argue. He just quietly, firmly says, "We have to leave now." That reaction alone cements the undeniable, lethal danger of this place. The dad knew whatever was in that room was way too powerful to fight.
So they grab whatever they can carry and make a frantic escape. But the entity, it is not done making its point. As they speed away in the car, Ryan looks back at the old house. Right before his eyes, an upstairs window slowly pushes open. A dark, imposing figure stands right in the frame, watching their car retreat. And once again, the figure is smiling. This is a chilling realization that the entity was never actually trapped behind that rusty door. The locked room was just a game, a psychological trap it used to hunt.
So why are we digging into this today? Because this wasn't just some bad night that got resolved. That exact same cursed house, rusty lock and scratched up door included, is completely abandoned in that town to this very day. No one has ever successfully moved in since Ryan and his dad bolted. It just sits there, this dark monument that the locals know to stay far, far away from.
And when we look at reports from the locals, we see this ongoing cyclical loop to the haunting. The phenomenon didn't leave when Ryan did. Every single night, like clockwork, the sequence tries to restart. The clock hits exactly 12:03 a.m. And if anyone happens to be walking past that abandoned property in the dead of night, they hear it. 3 slow, heavy knocks echoing from the inside. It's incredibly chilling, especially when they suddenly remember that absolutely no one lives there.
We've broken down the anatomy of this entire encounter today, from that first impossible sound shift to the horrifying photographic proof. We've seen exactly how curiosity and a locked door can be weaponized by something we don't fully understand. Which leaves us with one final, very important question to ask ourselves about surviving the unexplained phenomena we've meticulously explored today. If you were sitting alone in the dark, the clock struck 12:03 a.m., and you heard 3 slow knocks coming from inside your own hallway, would you be brave enough to check the door?